I decided to check out this big vintage expo that's going on in the area. I want to look at the pieces that they have and kind of examine whether or not they're worth buying, and hopefully I come up with something good. So we just came across this vintage watch seller, and there are so many different nice quality watches. I've seen a couple Belovas, I've seen a couple Timex, Citizen, and there's a lot of options to choose from. This is a really nice Citizen too with the gold. That's really nice. How much is that one going for?
This is $125.
125?
Yeah. Like I wear this every day. It's like a statement piece, man. It's like very nice.
Are you guys flexible with the prices at all, or?
Yeah. Is there like a price you're looking for?
Battery.
115. 115. Yeah, that's not too bad. What if we throw in another watch?
Another watch.
Well, there's a really nice collection.
So this one is 90. This is actually a linen dial. It's so cool.
If you really like the design.
Yeah, I think we'll do both.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm completely sold on this one. So just to quickly recap, this has a linen dial, it's automatic Timex. When I tell you they had so much to choose from, me and my boy Wes, we actually kind of came to a conclusion that we would buy 2 watches, kind of like haggled with them a little bit. You know, you always want to get a deal when you come to these because the price isn't always final, at least for the most part. Kind of like this size medium though. Kind of wonder if it's gonna fit me. Oh, this looks really good. If the price is right, I might get it. How much does this go for?
Asking 30.
30?
Now you want the 25?
25? Yeah, 25 I'll do it. You got, actually, you know what? I got cash. I think I should probably stop after this. I think I hit my limit for today. Maybe. No, I really like this sweater though. Nice Polo Ralph Lauren. Some vintage polo. Can never go wrong with that. So we just came across a concession where you can buy a tote bag, but the catch is you have 2 minutes to pick up as much as you can for $20. I think we're gonna try it out, see what we can find. Very successful day. Not only did I pick up a watch, a sweater, but I also found this really cool belt. If you remember in my last video, I was talking about how much I wanted a Western inspired belt, and I found this one for 10 bucks. So it was even under what I was willing to spend when I was looking online. For $10, I mean, pretty good steal. This one just barely fit me. Got a lot of details here. I also really like this leather. Also has a really nice drape. Bonus points because it actually matches the watch I just purchased too. I didn't expect today to be such a successful run. I picked up a belt, a sweater, and a watch. I've been pretty reserved with what I've been purchasing just because I didn't want to go too crazy. But when I tell you this place is huge, I got some B-roll. I think the B-roll doesn't do this place justice. Just to try to paint the picture of how large this place is. It's a big gymnasium with a large track around it. I mean, I'd say there's at least 50 plus different vendors, all selling unique pieces, from watches to vintage leather to clothing. Yeah, I'm excited to see what else we can find here. Let's keep searching. Hopefully I come up with more. Yes, sir. There it is. Cha-ching. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Fortunately, but also unfortunately, I just spent another $90 on this racing jacket. It was a little bit of an impulse buy, but at the same time, I felt like it was really calling my name. I got this watch, got this jacket, got a belt. I mean, I think I'm doing all right. I don't think I spent too much. This is what I'll say. Today has been a lot more of a success than I thought it was going to be. Usually when I'm out thrifting, I usually think I'm not going to pick up too much. And that's usually the mindset I go into. But there was a collection of a lot of really good pieces here. There were so many different vendors, so there was a lot of categories of things to buy. There were some people that were specializing in vintage jewelry, a couple people here with vintage race jackets, leather jackets, Carhartt jeans. There was a lot of selection, and that's the benefit of going to something like this. Whereas usually when you're going to a regular thrift store, most of the time it's a collection of one person's finds, and they're reselling it. But in a place like this, you have variety. You have different styles and different tastes. So that's why I think there's been a lot of success in what I've found today. I definitely attribute it to the type of stuff they're selling here. Shout out to Select Market. Now that today was such a success, I feel like I made out with a lot of good things. I want to go around and ask people the kind of advice they have for someone who's looking to get into thrifting. So let's go around, let's ask a couple people what kind of advice they have for the person starting out. Hopefully there's some advice here for you. And I noticed you got a really cool fit.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like curated and of your own.
Yeah,
I like all the earthy tones you got going on there too. My question to you is, what kind of advice do you have for someone who's starting out and wants to get into thrifting?
I'd say starting out, don't be afraid to get into the trends, you know, even though it's like what everyone else is doing, it's a start, you know, and that's how I started curating my fits, because it's like, okay, this is a start, and I kind of build off of that, because everyone wants to be different, you know, and it's fine. But, you know, you start off with some trendy stuff. It's trending for a reason, you know, it's popular.
I think it's important to understand why a certain piece or a certain style is trending.
Exactly.
Because not only are you going to get a good understanding of what looks good, you're also going to refine your style that way.
Exactly.
Because if you're starting from a place where you have no idea where to start, look at what's popular.
Exactly.
And there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
So when you're thrifting, what are some golden tips, golden rules that you usually go for?
So I'd say have a general plan. Sometimes you're not going to find exactly what you want, but have some sort of general plan. I'm looking for a jacket. You know, you go and you look for a jacket, and a lot of times you'll score, you'll find something even better. Sometimes being really specific can be a bit of a problem, because meet your expectations, like, oh yeah, I want this specific belt. You might not find it. Just be open. Honestly, come in with an open mind. It's good to have a base of what you want, but come in with an open mind. I feel like that's what thrifting's all about.
This is the thing, you're right. You have to kind of, two things, have an open mind, but also have an idea of what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So if you're kind of like, I'm kind of lacking on outerwear pieces, maybe my goal today is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to remove the distractions. I'm not going to look for the jeans. I'm not going to look for the t-shirts. Let me just lock in on an outerwear piece, especially if you're tight on a budget.
Yeah, for sure.
And that kind of eliminates all the noise, especially if you're going to like a Savers or a local thrift store. It helps you narrow down your options. I really appreciate your time, man. Veyron, like the Bugatti.
Yeah.
Great to meet you, man.
Yeah, great to meet you, man.
What kind of advice would you give someone who's getting into thrifting?
I would say just as long as you start wearing things, it's hard to know what you like until you put it on, I think.
Yeah.
So just start putting things on, and it kind of, your style finds you. You don't gotta find it. It depends a lot on like how you're feeling that morning. Everyone says it's about self-expression, but you kind of forget when you want to live up to like some kind of expectation of what you're supposed to look like, or what you think people want you to look like. At the end of the day, if you like how you look, I mean, everyone says that, but it's true. If you like how you look, then that's the way it's got to be.
What kind of advice would you have for someone who is trying to score big in a place like this?
Try to have like specific like types of clothing, or like things like articles of clothing that I like come in and like look for specifically. And also I like being like very efficient in the way that I go about the rack. Like first I'll like scan it overall and see like a couple pieces that might catch my eye, and then I'll kind of like flip through at a good pace so that I can kind of get in the whole like place.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Proud of my boy Wes. First watch by.
I'm pretty excited to get into watches. You know, I just got my first watch. Honestly, this whole place has been pretty successful. You know, I go into these thrift stores and stuff like that, not expecting to really find too much, especially when it comes to sizes. But because there's so much vendors and so much stuff going on, wide variety of things you can find. We saw things from jewelry to art to jackets to shorts to and anything you could really find, like even shoes, all kinds of stuff are being sold here. So definitely you gotta check out these markets. You really gotta diversify your fashion, you know what I'm saying? Maybe try something, get a little out of your comfort zone. You know, I feel like we always stick in our comfort zone. I feel like when you're comfortable for too long, it can be like it can be negative in certain ways. So definitely expand your taste, expand your horizon, diversify your style, go thrifting, all that.
So today I've been asking a few people what kind of advice they'd give to a beginner who's looking to thrift. Now this event is huge. There are so many options, it feels endless. What kind of advice would you give to them?
So if you're a beginner thrifter, I'd say first, like, find what you're comfortable with. Like, try not to like delve too deep into the trends. If like you're rocking with something, like really like invest into that, because that's when like the clothes are really gonna like start speaking for themselves. If you're rocking like a fit that you're not comfortable in at all, it's gonna show, and like people are gonna be like, oh, that's whack. But like you could be wearing like mids, but you really put it on, then they're gonna be like, oh, he's got fly style. Like it's all about like the sort of your energy at the end of the day.
In your opinion, how important are materials, and do you think fast fashion is still like a good way to discover your style, or should you just dive into thrifting immediately?
If the only thing accessible to you is fast fashion, I feel like that's a good place to start. I mean, the quality might not be the best, but like when you're like first starting off in fashion, like it's good to kind of just get a feel of like what works, you know? And then once like you get that sort of idea, you can start delving into like more of the details, the cuts, the materials, all that kind of stuff.
For the people that are looking to get into thrifting, personal style, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Me personally, use Depop a lot. You'll find a ton of good stuff on there. Sometimes thrift stores, you don't really find what you're looking for, but Depop, people are selling everything on there. So go on there, look for what you want, you know, like a ton of stuff. Also, before you buy something, plan out your fit. Buy stuff that go together. Don't buy items just because you like it.
So how long did it take you to get to this point? I mean, you're only 18. So I'm trying to figure out what your journey was like.
It took maybe 4 years almost.
4 years.
Yeah. When I first started, I would just go into Urban Outfitters and start getting a ton of stuff. And first of all, really, really expensive. Second of all, it didn't really come together too well. But it took time. It took a lot of influencers helped me a lot. TikTok, I found some good stuff on there. Honestly, it takes a lot of time. So just put some work into it. You know, if you're passionate about it, you'll get there eventually. So.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What's your name again?
Lucas.
Lucas, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
But coming from someone who does this like professionally, you have your own vendor spot. I want to see what kind of advice do you have for someone getting into thrifting?
Establish a taste. Know exactly what you want to be in the market for and what you can market your own stuff as. It makes it very, very easy to find stuff that's pertinent to your like taste. Just like any art or like any hobby or like passion or anything, like you just like follow what your heart says and just like know what you believe in.
Someone was going to start thrifting tomorrow. They've never done it before.
You need to know who you are, at least as a person. Even if you don't have a fashion sense, like you need to know who you are and like what you stand for. Once you figure that out for yourself, see how you can translate that into fashion. If you see something that you think is cool, you just like know that it's cool. Like you don't even think about like, why am I gonna get this or not? Like you're just like, oh, I think this is cool, so I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only criteria someone should have. Like you have to express yourself in your own originality and individuality, and that's like the most important thing.
I think you hit it on the head. I think it's really important that, yeah, there's so many trends, there's so many different things that you can do, but ultimately, if you like the way something looks, buy it. Sometimes there's not a big science behind it. It's really all about a feeling. And you hit it on the head.
It's all feeling. All art is feeling, and you know, fashion is just as much of an art as, you know, like painting is. It's all the same stuff, and it's what it makes you feel. You decide what to do with how that makes you feel.
Exactly. Fashion is an art. We are the canvas.
Yes, absolutely.
So, one last question for you.
Yeah.
How did you get to this point? Because this doesn't happen overnight.
You know, it took me a while, but I used to wear vineyard vines and khakis and Sperry's, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know, there are other things out there. And once I started getting some like artistic awareness and like realized that I loved doing like film and like digital art and music and stuff, that's when I was like, oh wait, there are way more facets out there in the world to be original. So as you know, like grow up and, you know, like mature, you change as a person, and then that gets reflected in what you wear and how you express yourself.
I like how your style develops because you as a person developed.
Yeah.
Because it's 100% okay if you like the vineyard.
Changing.
It's ever changing. If you like wearing vineyard vines, if you like doing
which
X, Y, Z,
is fine,
right? If you like wearing that, great. Follow it. That's your vibe. Don't ever try to be someone else.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that you grew within yourself.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, man.
That's all that matters.
Well, that just about wraps up today's video. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. This is a little different than the usual. We got a lot of opinions when it came down to thrifting. And not to mention, we also picked up a few really good pieces. I really wasn't expecting that for today. But that shows you, when you go in with an open mind and you don't expect much, sometimes it's those days that you come up with the best things that you've ever come across. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.